Hello, family, and welcome to another episode of Role Model Makers Experts Cafe. I'm your host, Dr. Al, the Parent Whisperer, and today with me, I have an amazing expert, a lady who's been in our community, has spoken on our multiple stages many times. So if you have not been to one of our events, please make sure that you look for that because you're about to have a treat. It is my pleasure to introduce you guys to Miss Haleh Houshim. Haleh, I did say that correctly, right? I just want to make sure. Very cool. And she's an amazing human being. She has the right set of focuses, right set of priorities. And I'm hoping that by the end of this talk, you guys are going to have a very similar set of focuses and priorities. So please stop multitasking and welcome, Holly. Thank you for being here. Please tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you got involved doing it.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for allowing me in this time and space. I'm privileged to take this opportunity. I you said my name perfectly, Haleh. I usually say it's pronounced like Hallelujah. So I'm a Healthspan coach, and how I became to be a Healthspan coach, my background, I worked in high demand corporations as a paralegal, legal secretary, executive assistant, and my last job was 14 years at the cancer center. That's where things started shifting. It was January 2011. One morning, regular day, going to work, I got up, I put my foot on the floor to go use the restroom. I literally collapsed. I was so weak. I was so exhausted. I was shaken up. I didn't know what was going on. So I called out to my husband, plus that I had him next to me, because I needed to use the restroom. So he carried me to the restroom. I had no idea. My whole body was shaking. I thought I'm getting seizure or something. So for 3 months, I was bedridden. I was given labels, which I don't believe in. They were called autoimmune of Hashimoto, chronic fatigue, chronic pain. They were going to continue labeling me, but because at such a young age, I lived in my own universe, I didn't believe in labels. I had a passion for I had this vision, like you can live up to 200 plus years in optimal health. And yes, people thought I'm nuts, but I thought something's hidden from me. So I was always like the black sheep, felt different. I didn't belong anywhere in this universe. So because of that knowing, although when I was in bed, I was really depressed. I went through a lot of discomfort. After 3 months, I'll tell you, today I'm 55, never been on any meds, and I'm on a mission to impact billions of lives to have them reach their highest joy, excitement, and inspiration to live their life in quality. And that's what health span title comes, is the number of the quality of life, not the number of the years you live, but the quality of life you live. So that's what I'm about, and I'm extremely passionate about it. Thank you.
Well, whatever you're doing is working because you look a couple of decades younger than 55. I would have never guessed 55. So
Oh,
awesome. Good job. All right. So now you had an encounter, and unfortunately for many of us, this is what happens. Like we don't think about health until it really impacts us. So tell us a little bit more about what your takeaway, what your advice is for parents, because they also got to teach this to their kids as well, and we want to make sure that we role model this behavior that prevention, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
absolutely. I always tell people because need to take care of it before it's too late because it's going to be more challenging when you're in that situation. And that's when people usually get medicated because the tolerance to put up with it. So before hitting that part, I really believe that our emotions have a lot to do with it because I'm also a certified cell resonance quantum healing healer that I do, which was one of the modalities that did work for me, that got me out of bed. And it's so important because our cells remember everything, every emotion. And that's, to me, I'm not a doctor, so I want to emphasize on that. But to me, based on my practice and knowing, and I've also encountered many scientists that cured their own cancer. I had the blessing to meet them, and also been coached by Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Donna Eden, and many of the great mentors. So what I would advice is emotions and that bond and that connection of family is super, super important. Because as much as you think the child is happy and energetic and all of that, there's things that the cell, the subconscious mind picks up and we don't even know about it. So that bond, for example, I'll give an example. My dad was extremely busy back home. I'm literally from Tehran, Iran. I came to America in third grade. So just giving you a little background. Been here ever since. So my dad was super, super busy and was not there as much. So that bond as a to my dad was not there established, which causes a lot of problem, which I not going to get into because in my 20s, I was also in a physical abuse marriage. Blessed and lucky to be alive here and created my soulmate in 2008 and happily married. But I'm just saying that because it can affect in many different ways, like it can affect in relationship, in work. So that bond, that love, that connection, because the cells do pick up, even that 1 second it picks up. So it's, and every like a symptom, like a pain, joint pain, headaches, all of that is related to our emotion. And then they call it as labels or disease or diagnosis. So that's my intake, to really come from the heart, be in the heart, the heartbeat, that joy. That is what creates everything.
I love it because for most of us in the developing countries, we have this cause and effect kind of mentality. But we need to also acknowledge that we don't know all the causes and we don't know all the effects. And so it can't be just linear that you just lifted something and your back hurts, that it could be a lot more to that, basically. So I love that. So this holistic approach that you're talking about, what are some of the challenges that usually show up at your doorstep and you find out that you know what, there's more to this than just some kind of physical ailment?
Thank you. My full passion actually is for high performers because I was in that state. I worked with very high demand, stressful job. I needed to financially survive. And I even brought uh, work home at times, and I didn't know. I was happy, positive, I was very athletic, and I was living a good life. I had no idea of what's going on, but the body was showing symptoms. And the one episode was one day I was at work and I had no idea. I was going my regular power walk. I come back, I'm summarizing it in short. I come back to my desk and all of a sudden my whole body again started trembling. And I'm like, what happened? I just ate and I did power walk, my usual. So I went to my coworker's desk. I don't know how I got there, but she sat me down and she thought it was a blood sugar or something. And she gave me some water and I went back to work. I thought everything was normal, but the body shows signs. And 2 years after that, that's when I had the crash. It's different timings for everyone in different ways, but that was a sign for me because I was athletic. I hiked every weekend. I did yoga every day. I didn't think of it as anything. So we ignored little symptoms. Headaches are not normal. Body aches are not normal. And people label it like it's genetic, and it's not genetic or old age. It's just a programming. We've been programmed to know those stuff, but we are so powerful and beyond knowing that our body is the most advanced technology and it heals um, by itself, and there's nothing outside of us. I learned that because I've been certified in different modalities, Reiki and all of that, but it has nothing to do with that. It's your own body and your own belief system of knowing that the power is within you. So I want to emphasize this because I went outside of myself for so many years, but the true answer is that cell resonance quantum healing, your body.
All right. So we know that parents are definitely high performers. And what we also know is that the process of parenting takes at least a couple of decades. So you can't wait till you're done parenting, which I don't think is ever done, until you actually start looking into things. So, what are some of the tips and suggestions that you have for our families so that they can always go ahead and tap into this power within that you're talking about?
Yes, I would definitely, because I also come from a family that I needed to be this perfect image. And at that time, I also went to Beverly High. And I actually, I'll share this. I hated who I was. And that love for oneself is where it starts. And that compassion, that love, loving yourself. And once you love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, you can project that outside. And I've seen a lot of people changing the outside, which is basically it's within. To get that love from your family, it's important. I got a lot of love, let me put it that way, from my mom. It's also always balance as well. It needs to be balanced, that love and support, and accept um, your children as they are. I remember that when I had to go out, I always had to look like a Barbie doll. It wasn't okay for me not to have a lipstick on. It wasn't okay for me to go outside without makeup, you know. So instead of nitpicking, because the child picks that up, or any nitpicking, too controlling, too picky, it goes in their subconscious mind, you know. So having that love for them is very important, and not constantly criticizing. Um, I think that's the most important thing. So they begin to love themselves as they are. They appreciate who they are. And a lot of parents are very controlling and criticizing. And I know it comes from love, but as a child, it's picked up differently.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit as well, because when you're used to giving love, sometimes it's difficult to receive love as well. And with parents, that's they're giving love to their parents, they're giving love to their spouse, they're giving love to their kids, and basically it's give, 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 and becomes not intrinsic and natural for them to receive love. So when you talk about love yourself, I'm going to do a deeper dive on this. Can you elaborate a little bit more what that looks like? What is loving yourself basically? Because it might be different for different people, but I want to take your take on it.
Thank you. One of the trainings that I had, because I went through this a lot myself, because I basically really hated the way I looked, the way I am. And this was when I had six pack and everything, and I was fit. I still didn't feel like I fit in the community I was in. Uh, what I did, because I met Louise Hay, I don't know if many of you are familiar with her. Still keep it next to me. It has become a habit. It's a little mirror, and there it is. So you look at yourself eye to eye in the mirror, and you say, I love you. It might sound silly, but that is the best you can do to yourself. And you just be consistent until it becomes a habit. And it has become a habit through the years. I say it in the morning and in the evening. You need to say that to yourself. That's one way. You can journal yourself, do self-care for yourself, appreciate yourself, whatever it is that you enjoy to do for yourself. Do that, because if you're not for yourself, you cannot be for others. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. So learning to do the stuff you love, and not because people tell you. I've learned also from Dr. Wayne Dyer what others think of me is none of my business. So just have that confidence, certainty that you are enough, you are beautiful, and tell yourself that. And once you keep saying that, it becomes a habit and everything flows, your work, everything, because you have that confidence within you.
I love that. I actually, now that you mentioned this, I remember a former mentor of mine said the same thing that, your eyes are your windows to the soul. So you make a habit of connecting to your soul every single day, and it has had a profound effect on me as well. So I can definitely vouch for you guys that what Dr. Hollis talked about definitely works, basically. So I highly encourage you guys to actually make that a habit of yours. And although I know that this is a very pervasive and deep discussion, and as you're talking about all the different people that you've had the opportunity to work with, I know that you are a library of knowledge. So, how can people connect with you more and find out more about what you do and benefit from what you do?
Thank you so much. I will go ahead and give my calendar link, which is Connect with Haleh, and that is spelled HALEH.com, or they can email me at Haleh, HALEH dot Houshim, S for sugar, HIM at gmail.com.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, guys, um, Ale has given me a lot of resources, and I'm going to actually go ahead and put all of that in the description box below. So make sure that you take the moment, stop doing all the multitasking, kind of go to the description box, click on it, and see the full list of resources that Holly has provided for you guys. And this is actually goes a little bit one step further. This is really important for us to role model this behavior for our children, that it is okay not to have all the answers, that it is okay to reach out for help. And we need to role model that behavior. In this world where we have all this connectivity, people are feeling more and more disconnected and out of touch with one another. And we need to show them that the world is not a big, scary place, that there are good people like Holly trying to make the world a better place, and it's okay for us to reach out. So please make sure you do that. And if you haven't already done so, please connect with us on this channel by clicking like and subscribe so that we can go ahead and notify you and you get notifications when experts like Holly show up talking about their expertise and their gifts. Holly, thank you so much for being here. Any final words for our audience members before we finish today?
Thank you. I also would always love to say, take the thoughts from your head and put them in your heart and live your life in your highest joy, highest excitement, and highest inspiration. Love you guys.
Love it. Yeah, get out of your head, get into your heart. More power. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you guys. Until next time. Cheers.